On this episode of Tiger Vision, we look at the inner workings of a barbershop, find out what makes Boston's Freedom Trail so special, and put a twist on Valentine's Day with Maya Matthews. These stories and more on this episode of Tiger Vision.
Hi, I'm Alex Weimer.
And I'm Caitlin Agnew. With every episode of Tiger Vision, we aim to bring you the best stories from around our community.
So, to start off, reporter Nicholas Quintana takes us to Salvi's Barbershop, a place that I desperately need to go to.
Nonantum, Massachusetts, or the Lake, is proudly Italian and reminds you of its roots at every corner. Situated on Adams and Watertown Street, Salvi's Barbershop is a staple here in Nonantum and takes great pride in the manner that they treat their customers.
I have people that I don't consider clients anymore. I consider them friends who I give haircuts to.
John Mueller is the current owner of Salvi's Barbershop, which was founded by Salvi Graziano in 1930. Though Salvi has long since passed away, John has kept the classic atmosphere of the shop frozen in time and loves what he does.
It's a job and it's a social experience all at the same time. We make people feel better, we joke a little bit. It's a great atmosphere to work in on a daily basis.
And for Concenzio Vestini, one of the barbers at Salvi's who's been cutting hair for over 65 years, the feeling is even stronger.
I love it, the way I do my best to make the customers happy, and they love you, you love them.
And it's this love and dedication that has attracted so many clients to walk into Salvi's.
I believe that I have a generational business here. I've seen grandparents, children, grandchildren. I can't really put my finger on how many people, but it would be hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, that are more than just clients. They're more like friends and family.
And like family members, John and his team go the extra mile to take care of their customers' health.
I'm not a doctor, but we're trained to be aware of skin conditions, to prevent people's health going bad. But not every barber does that. Some barbers just cut hair. I believe if I'm going to do a job, I'm going to do the right job. I'm going to do it 100%.
The relationship between a barber and a client is unlike any other. When customers sit down in a barber chair, they initiate an intimate experience with their barber and let them into their personal space. Because of the intimacy of this relationship, customers begin to open up over time.
They tell a lot of stories, you listen, it's beautiful.
Oh, I've had so many interesting stories over the course of my career, and some of which I can't speak about, some of which take too long to go into.
John took a second and recalled one of the stories a customer told him. The customer was a Jewish man from Austria who was captured by the Nazis in World War II. Shortly afterwards, he was shot and left for dead in an open grave. But with the little strength he had left, the young man escaped and lived to tell the tale.
And as he explained this story from his heart, people just gathered around the chair as he finished his haircut. And at the end of that story, I said, "Did you tell anybody in your family about this story?" He says, "I never spoke about it before in my life."
The barbers at Salvi's take the time to form these special relationships with each and every one of their customers. And it's the reason they think you should get a haircut with them.
This is not something that we just purely make money from, that supports our families. This is what we like to do. This is how we do it, and we do it with passion and compassion. That's why I think you should come to Salvi's.
For NNTV, this is Nicholas Quintana, signing off.
Thanks, Nick. Currently, Salvi's is undergoing renovations and have moved around the corner, but they still offer the same great service.
Up next, Lily Hashi brings us to a staple of Boston, the Freedom Trail.
The fabric of Boston is comprised of well-known sports stadiums, museums, restaurants, and something that many might not notice, remnants of the past. The 2.5-mile-long Freedom Trail weaves through Boston, featuring 16 historic sites. Since the 1990s, the Freedom Trail Foundation has helped preserve these sites and has run tours along the trail to educate and entertain the public. Suzanne Taylor, the executive director, is one of the many who are enthusiastic about the trail.
There's a lot of passion on the Freedom Trail for not only learning history, but just being part of the fabric of the city. The trail from beginning to end is all very, very good. Each site has something to bring to our history.
Each Freedom Trail tour is led by an enthusiastic tour guide dressed in 18th century clothing.
They bring real life to the trail, and what we say here is they bring history to life.
The lion, the symbol of England, because of all the lions that roam through the London streets, am I right? And the unicorn, the symbol of Scotland, because just like Scotland, unicorns don't exist.
My name is Chris, C-H-R-I-S, and I play Crispus Attucks. My favorite part of the trail is the Boston Massacre because I die there and I get to tell an awesome story that only I can tell correctly.
What happened was one person in the crowd took a large piece of wood and tossed it over the crowd, sailed through and hit one of the soldiers at the end. His name was Hugh Montgomery. He gets hit. He falls over and gets back up real angry with his musket like he's about to fire. I see this happening, so I run up to try to grab the gun before it's too late, but it was. He pulled the trigger on that musket, and that musket ball hit me, killing me instantly. And that's the end of the tour.
While figures from the American Revolution might seem far off and unrelated to your life, really, they are the people who made Boston and America what it is today.
And so when you look at people in different time periods and different places around the world, you can really see how things that might seem very different and alien and foreign from one time period and location to a different time period location, they really are the same reaction, because humans in general tend to have the same kind of reactions to things. And you're just changing the world around people. People themselves are still inherently the same.
Going on the Freedom Trail helps people see how this area's history, including its architecture, has shaped Boston.
It helps broaden your perspective because you can see buildings that evolved with Boston. These are definitely not sites that are stuck on a time period. These are very much sites that react to the city around them and continue to build and react.
Although you can learn about history through a textbook, there's something special about being at a historic site and touching history.
So when people can come and see the actual sites where the actual thing happened, when you can touch the history and really see and be around it, it makes it real, but it makes it pertinent to them too.
So come on the Freedom Trail if you want to learn how Boston's history has formed the world today. It's also just a lot of fun. For Newton North TV, this is Lily Hachi, signing off.
And lastly, everyone, the last stop on our tour is all this grass, all these trees, all this dirt around us. It is the Boston Common. Boston Common is America's oldest public park. It was settled in 1630 by a fun group of people that we call the Puritans.
Thanks, Lily. With the warm weather coming, there's no better time to book your tour. Tours can be found at freedomtrail.org.
Valentine's Day was last month, and reporter Maya Matthews went all around the school to share the appreciation with students and faculty.
Hey Newton North, it's Maya Matthews here taking a little spin on Valentine's Day. Rather than talking about the typical mushy-gushy relationship whereabouts and what's-its on campus, my stellar Newton North team went around school asking students about what adult in the building they most appreciate.
Probably Mr. Gagne.
Miss Leung, probably.
So who's someone you appreciate and why?
I gotta say, I really appreciate Miss Saha.
Miss Connolly.
Miss Rizaki.
Yes, hands down.
Tough question.
Tough question.
Leah, over there in Riley House.
That woman radiates the most light of any human being I have ever met.
Mr. Hess.
Mr. Hess and why?
Mr. Hess is the best ski club leader there ever was.
I love Leah because she's always there for me and she's always she's just my ride or die.
She's such a supportive teacher, always willing to talk to her students about anything.
He's funny and he enjoys the classroom a lot and
She's always supporting me and pushing me to do my best because AP Psych is hard, and like she's always also like really like just like into the subject too, so she likes what she's doing and like makes me really excited about AP Psych.
Awesome. Okay, so right now, you have 2 minutes to go find Miss Connolly and tell her everything you just told us.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna follow you.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Go bring these flowers to Mr. Zawaki and tell her everything you just told us. All right?
Okay.
Ready?
I guess I'll.
Here we go. I want you to go find Leah.
Go find Leah.
Tell her everything you just told us.
Okay.
I was just there. All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's
You
do it.
are ready? Your time starts now. Go. Okay. Go. Here we go. Here we go.
Running through the craze of high school hallways, which can be slightly embarrassing, all while juggling books and flowers, we found our favorite adults in the building. Well, most of them at least. We hope this is the kind of love and joy we all can spread in our Newton North community every day.
Thank you so much, Jackson.
For NNTV, this is Maya Matthews signing off.
Thanks, Maya. You can see more specials like this every Wednesday in the NN Update.
Tiger Vision is a news magazine-based show, much like Chronicle on WCVB Channel 5. Kieran Weisfeldner meets up with one of its architects, Anthony Everett.
County, next on Chronicle.
Good evening. What's been interesting to me in my career, not just in the Chronicle side, but on the news side as well, has been sort of like a PhD in life. And I have found more than a few times that you should never judge a book by its cover.
Anthony Everett is a veteran of broadcast journalism and has been working in the industry for over 30 years. He is currently the host for the nightly news magazine show Chronicle for WCVB Channel 5. Despite his love for the industry, Anthony didn't go to school for broadcast journalism. He went to become a veterinarian, but despite his pre-law background, Anthony discovered his love and passion for journalism.
I loved English, I loved philosophy, and I really was sort of tailoring a double major that made me pre-law. That's what my interest was. And I found out that as a biology and a biochem major, I made an excellent journalist.
After graduating from Tufts University, Anthony applied to law school and headed to Colorado to take some time off. It was there where he found his passion.
I literally sort of stumbled into this little radio and television station, and they were losing a sports anchor, and they asked me if I wanted to try. And so I auditioned. It was horrific. Don't know why they hired me, but they did. I spent a week not sleeping, being nervous about going on the air for the first time, but did it, made it through that first few days, and, you know, kind of went from there.
And slowly, days turned to weeks, and those weeks turned to months. Then, in 1990, Anthony headed to Massachusetts and became a general assignment reporter for Channel 5. After serving on the 6 o'clock news, Anthony moved over to Chronicle, where he found what some considered the best job in the world.
I hear that a lot. You've got the best job ever. I can't believe you get to do all this stuff and you get paid for it. And I absolutely agree, and I feel very blessed to have an opportunity to do this show.
But no all-star plays alone, and Anthony's co-anchor, Shayna Seymour, is crucial to his success.
Anthony's very good at what he does, so he makes me feel like I need to step up my game and be that much better to sit on the desk with him. I have a great deal of respect for what he's able to do. He holds everyone here in this office to a very high standard, and that's one of the reasons why I believe we are so good and successful at what we do.
But for Anthony, while awards are great, he takes more pride in a job well done.
Awards are often what other people think about you, and I think what's more important is what you know internally about yourself. And I would take more pride in that than what somebody else says about the quality of your work. It's a very nice recognition of the hard work that all of us do, because in my opinion, everything we do is part of a team effort. So I never think of it as, oh, I won this. I think of it as, okay, our team won this. And those are nice recognitions, but honestly, if I had never won one, I don't think I would feel like I had missed out on a whole lot, because I'm enormously satisfied with the job I do, and most importantly, the job that we all do.
And during his tenure as a journalist for Channel 5, Anthony has traveled all over the world, covering major events from the 21st century.
I was on the desk on 9/11. I was on the desk for part of the Boston Marathon bombing. I mean, these are things that, for me, are unforgettable. I just feel very grateful to have had the opportunity, not only to go myself personally, but then to convey that to the people of New England, and hopefully in a way that they find represents the story very well and is appealing to them as they watch it.
And with some luck, timing, and a little bit of elbow grease, Anthony has transformed from a news broadcaster to a storyteller.
I like telling stories, and I like being observant. And so that part of my job, I think, has fit enormously well with my personality. I like to watch, and then I like to tell. And ultimately, that's what we are. Sometimes when I talk to school kids that are younger and maybe don't understand totally how this works, I said, really what we are is storytellers. It just so happens that the stories we tell are true. They're not like a school-age child's book, which might be a work of fiction. This is a true story.
He can tell a story with such ease and eloquence. He loves what he does. He's passionate about what he does. He's a true journalist at heart. He's very smart, and he's just the ultimate storyteller.
Some part of me has always wanted to be and has been a storyteller, and so in that regard, I think this job has fit perfectly for my interests and hopefully my aptitudes.
So next time you're flipping through channels after work, check out Anthony Everett and Shayna Seymour on Channel 5 at 7:30. For NNTV, this is Kieran Weisfellner signing off.
I'm Shayna Seymour.
I'm Anthony Everett. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow night.
Thanks, Kieran.
Now, reporter Miles Stern takes us to a unique and interesting club at Newton North.
I've never been in a dungeon, and I've never met a real dragon. So, I spoke with Lucas Pratt and Thanasi Flessis, who are DMs, short for Dungeon Masters, or Game Leaders, to find out what Dungeons & Dragons is all about.
It's a game played with dice and pen and paper, and it's played with like a group of people around a table.
Some of them were deadly monkeys. This interactive game combines elements from fantasy books, video games, and board games.
D&D is reading like a fantasy book, except it's not actually reading it, it's acting it out and sort of simulating it with your friends.
Dungeon Masters are narrators and referees, describing and leading characters.
Creating things for players to do and obstacles for them to overcome is a lot of fun.
Having fun and acting out fantasy games with creatures like the Beholder isn't the only reason why students carve time out of their busy lives to play Dungeons & Dragons.
It's a really good way to express yourself creatively. Like, you can play whatever you want. It's just a lot of fun.
Most importantly, D&D is about the people. In fact, players don't compete in the game. They actually cooperate with one another as a team.
For me, like the core of D&D is sitting down with like people that you enjoy and you're friends with and getting together to play this game.
If you want to go on an adventure with your friends, go to room 311 at 2:45 on Tuesdays to roll your dice. For NNTV, this is Miles Stern signing off.
Thanks, Miles.
Finally, Teddy Wall shows us another way you can fight monsters and build your teamworking skills.
The worm demands the worm be called Wendell. Be recognized as Wendell because the worm was Wendell the whole time. It's a test and you all failed. Worm. Oh no!
Praise Wendell! Fantasy has been ingrained in our culture for years now. It's a cornerstone of the Western world. Plenty of people enjoy escaping to mystical worlds where they can fight with dragons, discover secret treasure, and go on wild adventures. This fantasy can become a reality right here in Massachusetts over in Burlington at the GardUp facility. GardUp is an educational center for kids and teenagers that uses live-action role-playing to bring fun experiences and long-lasting friendships to its players.
You can have so many fun adventures that I have never seen anywhere. There's so much fun to be had, and there's so many nice people who are willing to help you and teach you, and it's just a great experience.
At GardUp, the players are given scenarios and conflicts, but after that, the players choose what to do.
I myself do not venture there, for it is inhabited by many worms and beasts.
There's nothing that needs to be pre-written or programmed, so the only limit is their imagination. The counselors play along in real time with whatever the players choose to do, pulling the story in wild, unpredictable, and incredibly fun directions.
As Wendell.
They want to be here, so they always come in with a great energy, and they have such amazing and interesting ideas that they can basically shape the stories that we tell in ways that I would never have imagined.
In addition to the wild and memorable stories, the adventures also teach important lessons about teamwork. They force the players to make compelling and interesting decisions that require leadership skills and critical thinking.
They have just really developed as human beings. They've come out of their shells. They're much more social. They're better members of society. And so that's a big part of what we like to accomplish.
Guard Up leaves the players with long-lasting relationships, life skills, and yes, combat experience. Enthusiastically awaiting their next adventure, this is Teddy Walsh from NNTV, signing off.
Thanks, Teddy. You can learn more at guardup.com.
Stories are everywhere, and they need to be told. If you have a story idea, send it over to us at NewtonNorthTV.com, or you can reach us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
That's all for this episode of Tiger Vision, and we'll see you in a few weeks.